You know what time it is. It's time to get down to NFL football. This is when it counts. 49ers at Steelers this week, week 1. And we're going to break this down. We're going to focus on the offense. Who's the man of steel? Do we have men of steel? We're going to have some fun, my man Aaron from 49ers First Take. Stick around right here on the Wayne Breezie Show, baby. Let's go.
We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the bay. We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the bay. Yeah.
It's my favorite day of the week. It is Monday, baby. We about to have some fun. The Wayne Breezie Show is back. My man Aaron is in the building. I'm so glad to have you rock with me this season every Monday. I hope you're ready because this is going to be, some Mondays are going to be great. Some Mondays we might be a little bit gloomy. But Aaron, Thank you so much for being here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Dude, your energy, woo! That'll help me because I'm a pretty, we've talked about this. I'm a little bit of a negative Niners fan. I take losses really hard. Like I can't be happy that whole week until we play again and all that stuff. But man, we're doing this every Monday, man, this is gonna be nice. It's gonna force me to come out of that recluse that I go into after games, especially if we lose. It's a good thing though. It's cathartic.
But I want you to remain you though. Like, you know what I mean? Because the negative, like that's needed because every fan is going to be feeling the way you are. The way I do things, I just always look for that bright side moment to where I'm ready to move on and get the win. It's like if we lose, I'm ready to play the next day. And I know physically the 49ers can't play like the next day, but they do got a couple of games where it's short weeks. So guys, welcome to the show, man. Shout out to everybody out there. The Breezy Bunch crew is in the building. I got to give them their morning shout outs, man. Peachy's in the building. Welcome to the show. Be sure and smash that like button on the way and join the BB crew. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And let a friend know about this great 49er content with the hashtag BB. Jax Knox is in the building. Good morning, Breezy and Aaron. And to the faithful, let's have a great show. Shout out to my man Raphael562 with the hashtag. Says good morning, Breezy and everyone. My man Colin is in the building. Christy Marie is in the building. Good morning. Good. I want to read it how she wrote it. Good. That's enough O's. Good morning, Niner family, with all the emojis and the hashtag and the BB and all that good stuff. My man Jason Hess in the building. Good morning, faithful. Been a minute since I've been able to catch Breezy live. Let's go Niners all day. They're excited, Aaron, because I'm telling you, it is time. It is time. My man Marty Mar 49er Empire with the hashtag BB. Don't bother me is in the building. And to everybody that I missed, I do apologize. My man Matthews in the building. What's up, Niner fan? The one and only Miss Top Hat Debbie, the beautiful Miss Debbie's in the building. Good morning, everyone. Let's have some fun. All right, Aaron, it's 49ers Steelers week. It's week 1. I just want to know what's going on in that beautiful mind of yours right now.
I am so sick and tired of everybody talking down to us like we're going to lose this game. And that we have no place being there, and that like we're gonna go in there and they're gonna do a number on us. And I'm sick of hearing it, man. Like I think people are underestimating just how good of a team we really have. And if Nick Bosa is there on Sunday, that's gonna change a lot. I think for at least my confidence, but I'm pretty confident already. You're talking about offense today. We're talking about offense today and about the Supermen, Men of Steel. We have a lot of those on offense. So to me, I don't really have much fear, especially with Glock Purdy behind the scenes or behind center doing what he does. And I know a lot of people aren't super down with Brock Purdy, but I've been kind of a Brock Purdy advocate, and I'm really confident in how well he's going to play Sunday. They just got to keep him upright. That's really the only thing they got to do. Keep him upright. Cause I think this offense, if they got to get into a shooting, a back and forth, what do we call it? Not a shooting match.
It's a shootout. Yeah,
I think we
similar to
have.
Wild West.
I think we have the ability to. I think we have the ability to match them. Yeah, they're going to be at home. I think one of those things you gotta always think about, and I think teams and coaches and players all think about this, is that initial rush. First game of the season, they're at home. Just that initial, like, it just, you got to survive that. If the Niners can survive that, maybe only be down like 7-0 and not kind of succumb to the pressure of the first game and all the jitters that go with it and stuff, I think they'll be fine. So it's all about surviving that initial rush, because the Steelers are going to come out. They're going to be, the crowd's going to be waiting in anticipation for everything that's going to happen. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. But if they can survive that, I think they'll be all right. I think I'm sick of people downplaying the talent on this team. It's kind of aggravating. I know you want to be humble and you want to go into things with, like, not being too overly confident. And this is coming from a negative person. I think the Niners are going to surprise some people and win in Pittsburgh, and we'll be 1-0 by 4:00 Eastern time on Sunday.
All right, so let me just recap, because I asked you for what's going on in that beautiful mind, and you're just sick of people downplaying or degrading, another word you can use. And here we go. Look, we got some game preview picks already. You can see Daniel Jeremiah, Wolf, Adam Rank, Grant. There's 10 names up here, okay? And 4 people picked the Niners. Maurice Jones-Drew. All right, this is the NFL Network crew, as you can see. Look, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's super early, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if they'll end up changing their predictions. And we'll get to your score predictions toward the end of the show, or whatnot. But look, a lot of close scores that I'm looking at. Like, it's not like a blowout. I think Maurice Jones-Drew said the Niners win by 9. Right? Like, he just feels like they're going to go in there and win by 9. But again, 4 out of 10, they not really feeling the Niners on the road. And I'm curious to know, like, why. It can't just be the Nick Bosa factor. The Niners are dangerous on offense. They got their quarterback. We're going to talk about all that. I promise. We're going to talk about all that. Make sure you guys are following my man Aaron at 49ers First Takes everywhere, all right? Instagram, right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well if you're not already subscribed, all right? And make sure you click that like button while you're watching the show. I'm just excited that the San Francisco 49ers are playing, period. And I think they come out really guns blazing. It doesn't matter if they start slow. It doesn't matter. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. I think that's going to be my mantra for this year. I know we always usually particularly start slow to the season, but I'm hoping we come out banging every game. I hope when the offense steps out on the field, they look to fire quickly and put the pressure on the home team, or put the pressure on the opposing team to come back down there and match their energy. You talked about my energy at the beginning of the show. I'm putting the pressure on you, Aaron, to match this energy of the Breezinator. Now I'm just playing with you, bro. Listen, let's talk about some 49ers news, man. The team announced their throwback jersey schedule. 3 primetime games. I'll be at all these. I won't be attending the first Thursday night game at home. I won't be there. It's too early for my blood. But they will be wearing their home jerseys against the Giants. All right, that's a primetime game. And then they're going to be wearing their away throwbacks in Seattle. I'll be there for, I was about to say Easter. I'll be there for Thanksgiving. And then again at Christmas Eve at home, they'll be wearing, or is it on Christmas Day? I can't remember.
I was thinking the same thing. Is it Chris? I can't remember.
I think it's Christmas Day. I feel like it's Christmas Day. But they'll be wearing their throwbacks homes again. So 3 times. How you feel about the 49ers in their throwback uniforms? Do you feel like they should be wearing what's your favorite 49er uniform? First of all,
I like the throwbacks. I like the white on white especially are beautiful.
The white on white, yeah.
They're just nice. I think they wore those. Didn't they wear those in that game where Deion Sanders played against the Atlanta Falcons, where him and Andre Rison got into that.
That's when they got into a little scuffle, buffle.
The little slap boxing match with the helmets on.
Yeah.
Those just look super crisp.
Okay.
I just like them, and I wish they would take. I wish they would take the alternates and make them their permanent setup, because I don't know, man. I just like the red and the white with the black stripe. It's nice.
So you want you want the throwbacks to be permanent.
Yeah.
And then the regular unis, they need to do something to update the regular unis. I mean, they're kind of just boring. I'm just gonna keep it a
plain.
They're just plain Jane, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they want. Like, but I can't front, man. I miss the black on black with the red writing, bro. To me, it sent the message. I feel like if you got the all white, you should have the all black as the alternate. So you can have those as the throwbacks, but then like just have the black on black with the red writing, especially at a night game. I feel like that should be a night game uniform. To me, it sends a message. Look, my man Joe E says, bring the all blacks back. I'm telling you, yo, woo. It just sends a message. Sends a message. Lights, all black. I love it, yo. But I don't think we're ever gonna see those uniforms ever again. The only time you'll see the black with the red writing is the quarterbacks during practice.
Yeah, and it sucks because the last time we wore those all blacks, we were pretty bad. I think we had Brian Hoyer as our quarterback.
I mean,
I connected with a lot of bad juju, so I
yeah,
like them too.
You can't blame the damn man. Go pull up that roster, bro. That was Kyle Shanahan's first roster, and it was what it was.
It was bad.
2017.
Pierre Garçon.
He was good until the back injury. He looked like he was promising, but he was like 95 trying to play wide receiver. I'm just saying, like, we got a whole new regime. You got a full of like youth. I got the all black Bowman joint. Man, that team, look, I know the team didn't do good that year, but the team wasn't built to do good that year. I'm just saying.
I do like the all black because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So Darth Vader, the dark side, it's my thing. So like anytime, I just wish, I don't know if it was Peachy that said it or they would have to change the helmets with it, man. Like do something with the helmets. Go with an all black helmet with the red and gold SF on the side. That would be awesome. It doesn't look right with the all black and then you have a gold, like the helmet is just the regular helmet. Kind of the same way I wish they would when they do the all red and all white, like the helmet match, make it an all white helmet, or when we do the red top and the white bottoms, do something with that. But like it's a special occasion thing. I get it. They do it for like night games. I get it. They do it for prime time, all that stuff. But I love them. I actually liked when they switched to what they wore in the early 2000s. That particular style with Reebok. I liked those.
I didn't like that red. It wasn't the red that I liked. It was a different red.
It just felt like we were going into a new millennium. I wanted to see change, and it was nice to have the uniforms kind of go along with that because this team wasn't that team in the 80s and 90s.
That's
like
true.
This, you know what I mean? So let's move on. But I don't know. To me, it doesn't really matter what jerseys they play in, to be honest with you, dude.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But according to a lot of people out there, Aaron, it does matter. You can see like a lot of people don't like the all black. Like a lot of people like, no, it didn't fit our identity. And that's your prerogative. I thought it was dope. It was a color rush. I want to put that out there. So it was an alternate uniform. And like I said, it would be cool for them to wear it like on a night game, all black, under the lights. That's just my theory. And then I like this from Kenny. He says we should have an all gold outfit, which could be an alternate color rush too. Can you imagine all gold and then you call it the gold rush? You can call the blackout, the gold rush, the all white, I don't know, clean linen. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I just like the solid one color with a little bit of color to pop. I think that's what it is. Like, let the red pop through all those unis. It would be something sick to me, man. I don't know. Just call me crazy. Hey, I'm a fashionista.
When you said it's their prerogative, I just thought of
the song
Bobby,
downloaded in your
Bobby,
head.
It's not prerogative.
Yeah. I'm glad you said Bobby Brown and not Britney Spears. Kudos to you. You get points because Britney did do a new version.
I don't listen. That to me, that's Bobby Brown all the time.
Listen, I got to do these super chat contributions. Yep. I got to give Jax her props. 8 months as a member of the Breezy's Bunch crew. In this thing for 8 months, 17-0. Of course, we win in Sunday. Pittsburgh ain't ready for Jack. 17 and 0. And then she just followed it up with a super chat contribution.
Damn.
Now she gets the foghorn. And she says 17 and 0. We win in Sunday because I'll be there. I'll have 17 and 0 shirts. I'm celebrating my birthday. Woo! Yes, let's effing go. All right, Aaron, 17 and 0. This is her prediction. How do you feel about her prediction? I'm just curious to know what's your take on it.
Jax, I love your confidence and enthusiasm for the Niners. I am there too. 17-0 ain't happening. I hate to break that fantasy up.
It could happen. It could happen.
It could. I'm down with Peachy. She says it just a couple comments down. 13-4 is kind of where my mind's at. 13-4, 12-5 is where I've been kind of circulating or kind of hovering at. I saw Brian Hensley say we're only going to win 10 games on Twitter, and I was like, what? I understand the thought because we do play a lot of tough teams, and maybe some people aren't sold on Brock, so there's a little bit of like bad feelings right now. Like Niner fans are feeling a little betrayed with the Trey Lance thing. But if we just break it down brass tacks and we look at the team and look at from a healthy perspective, 13-4 is kind of where I'm rolling. We're going to lose some games. It's just a matter of when and how we bounce back and how we don't let them kind of snowball. Like if we can come out hot like we did in 2019, when we came out like 8-0, 7-1, 6-2, that's the kind of start I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I starting slow. You can't depend on that all the time, man. Like people are like, well, he came back the previous year, but that doesn't do anything for the, like you can't always rely on that. So yeah, 13-4 is kind of where I'm going. We got somebody in the comments that says 8 and 9. Nah, whatever.
Hey man, look, everybody has their reasons. I'm not gonna knock Jax. She says 17 and 0, then it's 17 and 0 until it's not, right? And that's kind of like the only thing the only advice I have for Jax is if you do get those shirts, just be ready to get new shirts when it says 16 and 1, 15 and 2. Like I wouldn't do it. It's not a good investment. I would come up with something else. But it's her prerogative. She can do whatever it is she wants to do. That's just my thought. If you're gonna invest, I wouldn't put 17 and 0 on the shirts. I would put like we taking over the West or something that more than likely is definitely gonna happen, and you could wear them shirts all season long.
The ecstasy of gold.
Ooh.
Like the song, and then just have us like holding up the trophy underneath or in the back. Yeah.
Ooh, you was right about last year about what? Now I want to know what she's talking about. She gave the super chat contribution. It damn sure wasn't undefeated last year. So what was you right about? I'm just curious what she was right about. All right. Listen, thank you, Jax. We appreciate those contributions. Guys, now as far as new news for the 49ers, I'm currently waiting on the injury report, right? Because this is I need to know who's practicing today. They will be practicing today, or they are currently at practice right now out there on the West Coast. All right. But this is what we had going into the weekend. You had George Kittle with the adductor strain. You had the Baker cyst with my man Talanoa Hufanga, Greenlaw with the hammy, Mason with the foot injury, Gibson still don't know what it was, and then Burks with the PCL strain. All right, so I'm banking on all of these players practicing this week. The only question mark that I have would be George Kittle. What are your thoughts about the injury report?
I didn't realize the significance of that abductor strain. You know what I mean? I thought it was more or less just with the preseason, we got our big stars. They don't play. They find a kind of a quasi injury and say that the guy's hurt, but it's if there was a real game and they had to play, he would kind of play thing. That's what I thought. I didn't realize that it could be that severe where he could miss a first game. That's huge, man. Like, really? We're going to start the season with Kittle on the shelf? That's not a good there's so much negative energy rolling around this team right now. Like, that's the last thing I want to hear is he's one of my favorite players. His energy is needed, especially on the road against a team like the Steelers in their house. I am very him and Hufanga, those two guys. I'm very worried about that. Man, what the hell? I didn't realize we were that banged up. But is this something that's like? How do you feel? Like I'll throw it back to you. How do you feel about it? You worried?
Worried, no. But I mean, you want your best players out there on the football field, you know.
Right.
And George Kittle, we'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about how the offense, can attack. You know what George Kittle does. He
Mm-hmm.
predominantly he brings a different dimension to the 49ers offense. And I believe he had 11 touchdowns. 7 of his touchdowns last year came from Brock Purdy. Let that sink in. So, last year George Kittle didn't start weeks 1 and 2. He didn't play weeks 1 and 2, excuse me. I'm hoping we don't get that. We don't get the same, result. But this is an adductor strain, so this has to do with I believe, the inside of the hip, or whatever, which can lead to a groin injury, which is kind of why I believe that they just put him on ice for the training preseason and all that type of stuff. I mean, you didn't need Kittle. I felt like Kittle played in the last game. I felt like I might be tripping. I felt like he played, at least dressed in the last game. Played. I don't know. I'm bugging. But at the end of the day, he should be good to go. The question is, will he practice today and this week? And if he does, you know what I'm saying? If he practices today, I'm saying he's good as good. Like, he's gonna play. If he waits to kind of like a Wednesday, Thursday practice, then it's kind of like up in the air. As
Mm-hmm.
far as the Hufunga, the Baker cyst, that's fluid behind the knee, which can lead to something more severe, like the the meniscus, which is where Cameron Latou is out for the season. He has to have the surgery, so you don't want that to. I'm hoping he got it drained and then they kind of just like letting him chill out, or, I'm hoping we hear that he had his knee scoped or whatever and he's just, ready to go week 1. But we'll see. But am I worried? No. As far as Greenlaw with the hammy, again, another one of those sus- long sustaining type of injuries. If not treated properly with the right rest, I think these guys pretty much rested except for Jordan Mason the whole preseason. The thing that Jordan Mason has going for him is that the depth at running back, bro, is ridiculous. So he can actually take a week off, like not play, not practice, just so
Right.
that he's good to go. I think TDP be the first one called up, behind Elijah Mitchell, who is healthy, and Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, that's the injury report. As far as Gibson, I don't remember him ever getting injured, but maybe he broke an eyelash or something. I don't know.
Fingernail.
Now we have bigger problems. There's a Bosa watch going on. The 49ers are still currently in contract negotiations with Nick Bosa, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. Nick Bosa, I just thought it would have happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to do on my show today, though. There was a report that came out that said in 20 to 48 hours that he expects Nick Bosa to sign. Well, that hasn't happened because it's been what comes after 72. Whatever comes after 72, that's where we are with the hours. So I'm just curious. Do we clap back at this reporter? Not a reporter, but do we clap back at that report and the person that actually reported it? Because, usually if I said something wrong, they're not going to let me sleep.
Mm-mm.
So I'm just curious, like, do we provide the same energy? Do we brush it under the carpet? I'm just curious how you would handle it. Because
No,
I'm ready I'm triggered up.
You got to smack people for putting out false reports. I'm
That's what I
sorry.
thought. Let's go. Let's go.
To me, it's such cheap. It's, in wrestling, they call it cheap heat. Like, you spit on another wrestler to get the crowd to boo you. Boo. It's cheap, dude. Like, you don't try harder. Like, that makes me angry because I'm the type of guy who opens Twitter and refreshes it like 50 times through the course of the day. I'm at work. I have my phone. Every time I have a chance, I'm refreshing it. And then you see a report from somebody saying that Nick Bosa has flown to California and he expects stop. Please don't do that to me. Like, I already have enough stress in my life. The last thing I have people do is tell me that Nick Bosa's signed and it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So, go after him. I mean, don't, no death threats or anything. Don't be super mean, but let him know. You
I
gotta clap
mean,
back a little bit.
I just feel there should be some type of, clap back, because, you had people just 28 to 48 hours. All right, finally some good news. Nick Bosa's about to sign, and then boom, here it is. Now I see some things going on in the chat, and I'll pull them up. But look, it's all speculation at this point. I think everybody believes Nick Bosa is going to sign. I think that at this point you just want to say nothing. Like, don't even mention it, and then when it happens, it kind of like just happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Amateur Draft Scout says, "Man, this Bosa thing is forming a cloud over the team right now."
Yep.
How much of a cloud is it forming? Like, in your words?
Well, I mean, if you couple it with the fact of what happened at quarterback, and there's all that energy going on where Niner fans are at war with each other, and then you put the Bosa situation kind of as the cherry on top of it. It's Niner land right now. There's a lot of stress. A lot of people mad,
Yeah.
mostly at Trey Lance being jettisoned off to the Cowboys. And then you have our best defensive player, and we're already mad at the front office for how they freaking poo-pooed that situation with Lance and how they freaking just completely dropped the ball. And if they have a situation where he starts the regular season and he's not playing and he hasn't been signed yet, I mean, yeah, 49er fans should be pissed off. I'm not quite there yet because I kind of have a feeling this is going to be one of those final hour type things where he gets signed like Saturday before the game and he's ready to go on Sunday type thing. But yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. But I'm willing to forget it all once I see Bosa's name go across the banner on Twitter or wherever. So, but I get Niners fans frustration, and I'm getting there. But I'm gonna wait. We still got about what 7 days, 6 days. So
Man, it's just a tough deal, right? If Nick Bosa does sign his contract the day before the game, could he play? Yeah, he could play. Of course, he could play. He's played football. He's been playing football since he was 2. He could play football. That's not the problem. I just feel like I don't know if I would want him to play without any practice. Does that make sense? Like without any.
no, yeah, it's funny. I was talking to some people last night. I'm a big gamer, right? So I'm an Xbox guy. On Xbox with the fellas talking about sports, and one of them said, and he's not even a Niners fan. He goes, "Yeah, you sign him right before the game, and then he breaks his ankle." And I'm like, "Right, that's exactly my fear. Is like every time you have one of these late ass signings where guys come in right at the last minute, almost every time it's either a significant injury where the guy's out for the year or
Mm,
it's an injury because of just a lack of getting that like we've talked about probably the last 2 times you've been on my show about contact callus and just getting their body ready for getting smacked around and going against a offensive tackle, say like Trent Williams, and he hasn't had that. I mean, you could run on a treadmill all you want and lift a bunch of weights, but the football shapes a whole other situation. So uh, yeah, he can come right in and be effective. But yeah, that injury concern is definitely huge, man. Like, especially with the amount of money you're paying him, he comes out and gets, pulls a groin or a hamstring and then is out like 6 to 8 weeks. That would be a nightmare. So
that would
that's
be
probably the
crazy.
biggest worry right now is
Yeah.
that he's going to come in and end up getting hurt. I'm not trying to speak it into existence, believe me, but it just when you got random ass people telling you this and they don't even follow your team, it is a thing. It happens. So yeah, he needs to get his ass in here now.
Yeah. Especially if he plans on playing like
Yeah.
week 1 in a hostile environment in Pittsburgh. He's gonna have to match the energy. It's just gonna be a crazy situation. But listen, the sooner the better for Nick Bosa. We're not done with Nick because Chrissy 1687 says, I'm worried he'll be traded. Now, Kyle
Oh,
Shanahan, John Lynch put a cap on that. They said that they weren't going to trade Nick Bosa now, but I feel like we've heard those words before. Right?
yeah.
Right?
Right.
We've heard it all before. Like just your gut. What is your gut telling you about Nick Bosa? Do you feel in your gut that there's a possibility that he'll be traded?
From the way that they've been kind of untruthful about with Trey Lance, and they kind of give us the runaround with all that situation. And they give you all that political talk, the PC talk. You have John Lynch, who's your politician. He could make chicken salad out of chicken, whatever. Like, do I think I think it's a possibility with all players that they could be traded,
Mm,
but the PR backlash if they were to trade Bosa would be you think their fans are pissed now because of Brock Purdy being the starter and Trey Lance being in Dallas. This team, our fan base would collectively lose their damn minds. Uh, I don't think it's going to happen, but never like I hate to play the fence on this one because shoot, like it does come to my mind that like what if they do? Like what if they can't come to a situation or a contract negotiated with him and they go trade him to freaking Carolina and we get Brian Burns back in return? Like is that okay with fans? I personally don't think so, but never say never, right? Especially with
I'm
John Lynch.
It wouldn't make sense to me though, because you got to
No,
pay
it would.
Brian Burns. Like at the end of the day, you got to pay one of these guys. So what?
Well, just pay the guy that you have.
That's my point. Like it doesn't make any sense. Niner Matt John Lynch also said we've budgeted for Bosa's extension, and he said Trey will be here 2 days before they traded him. This is why
Yeah.
I can understand, and I can you know. I can understand where fans are coming from, right? Like I can understand it. Like we've seen it before. They said this about DeForest Buckner. Now I know the situation was different. You get what I'm saying? But unless, and I hate to say this, unless you're giving me 4 first-round picks,
Right.
like 2 next year, like 1 the year after that, and he can't. I'm not trading Nick Bosa. Listen, the 49ers knew that they were going to be in this predicament. And so I feel like I don't think paying Nick Bosa is the issue. I know a lot of fans want to get it done. I don't think paying him is the problem. I really think the holdup is more likely like the language in the contract on what is he? What is he? What is Nick Bosa? Is he an edge rusher? Is he an all-around defensive player? That's the first thing that you have to decipher. If I'm the Niners, I'm trying to save a couple of $1 million and I'm calling him an edge rusher. Because now I only got to pay him higher than TJ Watt, which is at 28 million. And so like at 28 million, I can give you 29 million a year, 5-year contract. And Nick is like, yo, but I'm the best defensive player in the league. Nah, I got defensive player in the year. Nah. Also, TJ Watt is more of like an outside edge rusher in a 3-4 defense where Nick Bosa, we watched him stunt, right? So he goes from outside to inside. That means he plays outside and inside. So like that makes him more of a defensive player. So I think Nick Bosa's camp, Aaron, is trying to make him, what's going on, Melissa? The highest paid non-quarterback, which is Aaron Donald money, which is at $31.7 million per year. So that number got to start at 32 for the Niners easily. It has to start at 32. And I think that's more of what the holdup is, man. I mean, what are your thoughts about that? That's just my little scenario. But I'm sure that's that $4 million that was reported last week.
Yep.
That's that $4 million. What are your thoughts?
That seems to be the bone of contention. Is I think the Niners want to pay him as an edge rusher. They don't want to go into best defensive player territory, which is weird that like they're really losing their minds over a couple of $1 million. Like I understand how they like to do their contracts and they always got to think for the future, but damn it, like, it hasn't worked so far with trying to make everybody happy and keep everybody here. So like maybe you just need to swallow a little bit of pride and just pay this guy and put our best player out there and see where that takes us this year. The Niners, it's like they want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to have all their great, they want all their players, but then they want to give them these contracts that are team friendly. And I don't think Bosa's side of the Bosa people, and we're talking about not just Nick Bosa, but his family. Like the Bosas are like a clan, right? So like they're all about getting that money, and they don't want to have a contract where it's essentially, if you play this many games and it has all these escalators in it for injury and stuff. Like no, like pay me what I'm worth. I really do think that they need to make him the highest paid defensive player. I don't know, man. Like I don't know if are they negotiating in good faith? What's going on? Like, why is it taking so long? Like, to me, this is ridiculous that it's gotten into a week before the regular season.
I want to remind people, Aaron, there are 3 positions that are prime real estate in football. Just 3.
Edge rusher.
Edge rusher might be number 1, but quarterback is typically number 1. Okay.
Left tackle.
Left tackle is typically number 2, and then your edge rusher is typically number 3.
Yep.
Prime
money positions.
Real estate. Okay. Prime real estate. So the Niners knew what they knew. I know that they 5th-year optioned him close to the $18 million mark for this year. I'm curious to know what are the guarantees, because I think that's another language setting.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if I get hurt on this $18 million, I don't have any security. Nick Bosa is not stepping on a football field without any health security. It doesn't even make sense. You wouldn't step on the football field without any type of security for your health.
Hell
Because
nah.
if you got injured on an $18 million a year contract, you just effed up your whole life, like literally. So now Nick Bosa is trying to secure that and then go out and play. I'm not mad at Nick Bosa. You get what I'm saying? Like I get where he's coming from. There's no security on that 5th-year option, so you can't be mad at him. You just gotta kind of like, you just gotta take it. And unfortunately, it could be. It's not, but it could be detrimental to the team. And so that's kind of like the issue. We got one question about Nick Bosa. I want to read a super chat contribution after that. My man Michael Caldwell over on Facebook, man. What's going on, fam? He says, is it a good thing to pay Bosa everything and just throw him on the field?
Right.
I think he should work back in with zero training camp or practice. And this is what we were kind of essentially saying, right? First of all, I think we should pay him everything. Like, you got to pay him. But I pitch count.
Oh,
But
yeah. You can't have him come into week 1 and have him playing 50 snaps.
No.
20, 25
25 at the
Yeah.
25 max. And you're hoping he has enough energy to be effective in those 25 snaps. Just to be effective. That's it. That's all you need Bosa for in week 1. Kenny Pickett isn't Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he ain't that. So if you can find Bosa to come in on some limited snaps just to get like a practice, like how many snaps, I think he can still find a way to be effective. You are taking a risk, but football is all about risk, right? Like it's all about risk.
Yeah.
You could take smarter risks though, which would be the limited snaps. So I agree with you 100%, bro. All right, but listen, Bosa's still not here, so
That makes me angry.
it does.
You know what's crazy too, dude, is the fact that we didn't. Trey Lance didn't work out, right? We gave all these first round picks. You have those picks, and we never make the move for them, right?
Yeah.
You tend to draft replacements for guys that you're going to leave via free agency as you start to pay people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they didn't have those 2 first round picks in successive years puts a lot of pressure now on the upcoming drafts after this season, because you can't keep everybody. Like, for instance, Ronnie Bell being as good as he was in the preseason, you're hoping and praying that this kid becomes like another Debo, right? Or another Ayuk, because then if you got to pay Bosa all this money and he has to eat a lot of cap, then you have a guy you could say, you know what? Like Debo, it's been great, dude. You've contributed so much to the revival of this franchise, but we're not going to pay you that money. And you have Ronnie Bell on a cheaper deal. It's like somebody said before, it's cap gymnastics. That's to me when you start to think of like the repercussions of a mistake of drafting a guy that you never really wanted to put the work in for. You gave up picks that could have essentially been picks to replace players that are leaving when you have to start paying people. So that's, to me, it all works together. So yeah, if they're going to pay Bosa and it's going to affect the cap down the road, then they need to start hitting on some early round picks coming soon. Get your left tackle of the future, maybe this coming draft, and start hitting on your second and third rounders instead of relying on 7th and 6th and undrafted guys to be your players of the future. It's a little bit aggravating to think that they took those picks and they didn't have them, and now we're at a situation that if we pay Bosa, we got to start jettisoning players off. So
crazy. We got a super chat contribution on an airplane. Shout out to my brother Nick.
Nice.
He says, "What's up, Breezy? I'm on this flight back home to the good old USA from France. Oh, parlez-vous français? Can't wait to hang with you and the crew in Pittsburgh." Speaking of that, Nick, we appreciate that. I do want to do a quick little plug about the 49ers Rush Road Trip, which we will be in Pittsburgh. We have the event on this particular Saturday coming up and the tailgate on Sunday. So the event on Saturday, if you are attending, You want to make sure you guys are there. Listen, we got a bunch of trivia. We got a bunch of giveaways. We are going to have a blast. John Chapman and the crew, myself, we're going to have a blast. Now, if you didn't get your tickets, guys, you can go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com right now and get those tickets. All right. Get your tickets, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Get your tickets for, we have still tickets available for Sunday's tailgate. The tailgate is going to be at a place where we're about 3 blocks away from the stadium. So we'll tailgate early in the morning and then we'll walk on over together as a crew as we take over the city of Pittsburgh. I want all of the red and gold here so we can walk together. All right. So 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Make sure you get your tickets for Saturday's event from 2 to 9 and then Sunday's event right before the game. Also, shout out to our sponsors over at Residency, guys. Go to www.residency.com. Use the promo code SF Breezy, all right, and save on your purchase today, all right. And you can see that it is in our overlay right there, all right. So make sure you guys check that out, man. They got a 30% sale going on as we speak. So make sure you get your SF caps. Use that promo code SF Breezy, and you'll save money on your total purchase, all right. Oh man, look. I want to do something a little bit fun before we actually get into the meat and potatoes. We got a few more. We got some time, right? So let's talk about guess who the 49er captains will be in 2023. They have not revealed the captains as of yet. In 2022, they went with 6 captains. All right. I would say 2 of those 6 captains are not with the 49ers. One is no longer on the team and one is holding out. That'll be Nick Bosa. Jimmy Ward is now with the Houston Texans. Eric Armstead, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, and George Kittle are the other 4 remaining. How many captains do you feel like they're going to have? Are we going to stick with those 4? And how many more do you feel like we may add?
I think we go with 6. Maybe we switch out a guy like McCaffrey to be one.
Oh, so does McCaffrey should take Jimmy Ward's spot. Okay. So if Nick Bosa's not on the roster, who's taking his spot? Or do they leave it at 5? I'm so dope. Do they leave it at 5 until he returns and then they bump it up to 6?
That would be the possibility, I think, because he's automatically your a captain of your team. He's your best player on defense, maybe your best player on team in general. So I think 6 would be the number. I was thinking of Greenlaw, but I mean, you can't have 2 linebackers.
He doesn't read captain to me.
Yeah.
He's just a dog.
He's an assassin. He goes out and he hurts people. That's his job.
His assassin creed. Yeah. Moody for captain. Another silent dog, right? I don't know if they read captain, Dion says Niner.
Okay. Yeah, that was exactly
I don't think
what I was
Huff is a cap. I don't think he's earned captain yet.
Not yet.
He's on his way though.
Yeah, I think CMC should be the switch out for Jimmy Ward, and I think Bosa, regardless, is going to be a captain. It's just a matter of signing that giant check that he's going to get, and then it'll be good to go. But I think they start at. You're right. I think starting at 5 is probably going to be it.
Or do they go 6 and then add the 7th? I think it's either 5 or 7. I don't think it's going to be 6 this year. They went 6 last year. They went 7 the year before, Aaron.
Damn.
Like just like a piece of sizzling. Yeah.
Maybe a guy like Hufanga does get captain then. I mean, because you think about it, like he. I don't know, think about it. You're not going to put Charvarius Ward as one of your captains. He's good.
What about Brandon Ayuk? He's not captain material? The dude has literally reshaped the mindset of the way the offense ticks. Everybody has to be a dog. Like, you have to be a dog. You can't be on the 49ers offense without being...
Then go with every guy that was on the top 100 list. Just make all of them captains. That's what you need to do.
There it is. Problem solved.
There you go. You're on the top 100 of the Niners, which is like, 8 players we had this year? 8 captains.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Problem solved. Listen, Armstead was already a captain. I expect him to be captain again. He is the blueprint. I think George Kittle has the most captain patches on this roster, so he'll be a captain again. Trent Williams will be a captain until he retires. Fred Warner is to me, Fred Warner is the captain. Like he's just captain. I know we did a little exercise on one of my previous shows about like in the Army, like what are the rankings? And captain is kind of like low. But Fred to me is just like the captain. Like he's the guy. He's the guy. But listen, it's gonna be fun. We'll see what happens. How could I forget? You should slap me because I totally forgot about Christian McCaffrey. He's just been so quietly silent to where he's still dangerous. I just don't see him, but he's got to be a captain.
He was a hired gun last year.
Yeah.
He was our like in 2019 when we traded for you know what I'm trying to say, the wide receiver, Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh yes.
But Christian McCaffrey is one of the best players in the NFL, period. Christian McCaffrey to me has the potential to have a Hall of Fame career. You know, the way we talk about Roger Craig and how we're mad that Roger Craig is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's like Roger Craig, but he like his whole career has been catching and running. Like it wasn't like some novelty or something that we discovered in the late 80s like the Niners did. Like, wow, we got this guy that we run with and we can throw to. Like that's been McCaffrey's whole thing in his career. So like, yeah, that would make an absolute sense that he would be a captain because how different was this offense last year once McCaffrey came on board?
Oof.
That's why a lot of people were, I know I keep bringing up Lance, but like a lot of people were mad because Lance never played with McCaffrey. He didn't even play with Kittle at points last year. Like you never saw him with the full weapons around him to see like, okay, so maybe he has some issues with this, that, and the other, but just throw it to one of those guys and they'll take care of it for you as you grow. And that's why like you got to see more for Brock Purdy because you want to say like, okay, we saw him. He had a bunch of guys with him. Let's see if he can do it again. Like, can he repeat what he did? And like McCaffrey, we forget about him because he came in mid-season. But dude, he automatically became one of our best offensive players. He relegated Ayuk to almost a forgotten man. And it's not because Ayuk sucks. It's just they have so many other guys that prioritize getting the ball that Ayuk's just sitting there in the background like, yo, look at me. Like I would be Justin Jefferson if I was anywhere else. So yeah, I think he's got to be one of our best players or one of our captains.
I think the number might be 7. Okay. And what are your thoughts real quick before I get to Nick's comment? What are your thoughts about Brock Purdy being a captain? Because he would be my 7th.
No.
Really?
Not yet. No.
I watched him command.
No, I know. And
I watched him command grown-ass men, bro.
Yeah, yelling at people and getting people in line and stuff. But that would be too much on the nose.
You think so?
That would be too much on the nose. That would,
no, I don't think it would.
I'm telling you right now, you think people are mad that Purdy ain't here?
Let them be mad. What the fuck are they mad about? The motherfucker won mad games. How can you be mad at that?
They're mad because they think he was a product of the system.
It doesn't matter. Every player on this team is a product of the system. It's a systematic team. You have to be able to fit this system to work. Think about it. Christian McCaffrey is super talented, right? Mm-hmm. He's talented. He did what he could. He showcased his talent in Carolina, but look at how he's more able to showcase his talent in this system. It fits him. It just fits him. Think about all the running backs we had. Think about them. All the running backs we had looked like they were 5-star recruits in the NFL under Kyle Shanahan because they fit the system. They go elsewhere, you might hear about Mostert. You might not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about fitting the system. Like Deebo Samuel, I don't know what he would be like anywhere else. I don't want to know what he would be like anywhere else, but I know what he's like in this system. I'm just saying, Brock Purdy.
No, I get you.
He put the big boy pants on, bro. He put them on, bro. Like, look, as much as I was loving Trey Lance and pushing for Trey Lance, because that's what I was doing, and y'all could, whatever. I don't give a fuck. That's me. I'm going to sit here and stand by my word and say, what Brock Purdy put on the big boy pants.
He did.
And did big boy things.
People
He's a big boy.
And that's what I was trying to tell people too. Like, we keep comparing him to Garoppolo, but Garoppolo did his little 5-game thing in the 2017 on a team that wasn't going nowhere.
But he got the patch. Got the patch next season. We won 5 games straight and got the patch. Why? Like, I feel like this should be a healthy conversation.
I just feel like it would be too on the nose.
Okay.
It would be for people who are Lance fans that he's gone now. Would be like, that's how we're gonna play it.
I'm the biggest Lance fan it is, and I'm gonna tell everybody you got to get over it. He's now on the enemy. He's with the enemies.
That's what
he's sleeping with the enemies.
He is sleeping with. Steve Young was like, out of all places, not the Cowboys, never the Cowboys. He's gone. He's not here anymore.
He's gone. It sucks.
It's
how
not the San
how it
Francisco
happened.
49er or San Francisco Lances.
It's not. It's not the Brock Purdy Lances either, but guess what? He's dressed in red and gold, and that should be the only thing, in my opinion, that matters. Red and gold to be dead and cold. Nick Para, we should do it Deion Sanders style. I don't know if you got a chance to watch how Deion Sanders was getting his Colorado troops. Yeah. That game was crazy, right? But if you look at their uniforms, they don't have C's on their chest. You're either a leader or you're a dog, or you're nothing.
Greenlaw would be a dog.
He would be a capital D.
Warner would be a leader. Hargrave? Oh, not Hargrave.
Leader. I'll give him leader.
Okay, Bosa would have 2 L's.
Bosa would be CLL. Captain, leader. Captain, leader.
Captain, leader, dog. Like, he'd have all the
letters. All of them. All the letters. I love this. I love this.
We could go on and on. That could be a whole show. Like, who's a dog and who's a leader.
Make sure we recap that. We'll do something with that. Write that down, Aaron. We'll come back to that, yo. That was good. That was actually good. Thank you, Nick, for that. All right, so the 49ers breaking news. The 49ers have signed kicker Matthew Wright to the team's practice squad.
I hate you right now.
I did that. I did do that. I'm sorry.
You just
it would have been a totally different reaction if it was Nick Bosa, though. We would have shut the whole gate.
Oh man, all my insides tightened up.
I'm sorry,
you're trying to hold in a fart.
Yes.
You think you're gonna crap your pants?
Yeah, you have to let it out slowly if you can.
That's literally what just happened. I was like, whoop. And then
my apologies. My apologies, Aaron. Look, this is what happens when we do a show during time that they're... All right, so the 49ers have signed kicker Matthew Wright to the practice squad. This means that Jake Moody may not be able to go week 1. All right, cool, but they had to release running back Brian Hill, which was one of the veteran running backs that they ended up signing to the practice squad, all right? And that's per the 49ers, so we'll make sure we get that news out to you. But you heard it right here on the show. Matthew Wright will be kicking, well, not necessarily. He's just on the practice squad as of now. So we'll keep the Jake Moody's health radar out there. I'm sorry if I made anybody have an ulcer in their tummy. I do apologize. That's not what I was doing. But we had breaking news. It was a signing. I'm sorry. Aaron, I gave you some homework. All right. And I want to know 5 ways to attack offensively for the 49ers. Like, give me 5 ways you feel like they can come out here and destroy that defense.
Does it have to be going to be players? Or are we talking about running the?
It could be players. I want to know from players' perspective. I'm sorry, I meant to say that. I want to know from players. Give me 5 players, because that will be the 5 ways for me.
Well, I think anytime you go on the road, right, you want to control the clock. You want to control the pace. So, of course, Christian McCaffrey is going to be probably the number 1 way you want to attack going into a place like Pittsburgh. He needs to be centerpiece, number 1 on the call sheet, so to speak, because you go into a road game, weird things happen. It's just the first game of the season, everybody's hyped. You start slinging the ball around and throwing the ball around a lot. I feel like it's a recipe for disaster. And it's not because I don't believe in Brock. I just think going in on the road, the miscommunications, things like that happen. So McCaffrey to me is numero uno in the pecking order to start the game. He's probably one of the best players, if not the best player on offense right now, just based on what he can do and how so many different ways they use him, like whether it's in the pass game or the run game. So he would be number 1. Number 2, I mean, Brandon Ayuk you should be finding ways to get Brandon Ayuk the ball any way possible. I feel like the screen game could come into effect in this game
I
because
like that.
you're gonna have that hot rush coming at us, right? They have a really good pass rush. They have JJ Watt. They have that other guy. I can't think of his name. And so, like, what's the best way to take? What's a what?
They got TJ Watt.
How do you abuse a team that likes to come after the quarterback? You
You
screen him to death.
You screen them, yeah. You. What you do is you negate that the overzealous pass rush with a quick throw.
Yeah,
and you run them out of breath. Like you get them out of gas.
it's the best way to stifle a pass rush to be less aggressive. And then once that happens, then you can start to open up other things. So like that to me is key. Debo, of course. Debo is, I mean, I don't think Debo's kind of fallen down a couple pegs just because you have other guys that have kind of stepped up and kind of assumed that role. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on Debo. My own brother thinks that Debo should be moved, and he's a Dolphins fan. He doesn't think Debo.
Well, that makes sense why he thinks Debo should be moved. He wants Debo with the Dolphins.
Well, he also thinks Debo because of his injuries and the fact that they have to seem like they had to manage him every year. That maybe he's kind of fallen down a couple pegs, and then like I said, if the ascension of Ronnie Bell happens, which I need to calm that down a little bit because I'm kind of jumping ahead with him. You got a guy like Debo. The thing with Debo too that we're all sleeping on is the fact that he lost all that weight. So I think he's going to be a lot healthier this year, a lot more flexible. I think maybe the hamstrings won't be as big of an issue as they've been in the past because he's so stout and so tight. So he would be number 3. Number 4, of course, George Kittle.
Kittle over the middle, baby.
Kittle over the middle. Kittle to me is we underestimate how great he is because he's a blocker and he does all these things in the run game. And I think that's why people look at him and kind of maybe don't see him in the same breath as say like a Travis Kelce, because Kelsey's a straight up receiver. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He gets 10 to 15 throws a game, 10 catches, 100 and whatever yards, a couple touchdowns.
He's their pass catch. He's their leading target.
And Kittle's not. We have a lot of other weapons. I think Kittle, to me though, when you forget about him is when he's most dangerous, because like the fact we have so many other guys that you have to focus on. McCaffrey to me unlocks this offense so much because
interesting.
He can do everything. This offense essentially, if you think about it, is so interchangeable. So many players can play the same position. Like running back, you could have Debo back there sometimes. You can have McCaffrey back there sometimes. They're so
very versatile,
so multi-dimensional that like they could run similar plays with guys in opposite positions. You could have Kittle. They've had Kittle in the backfield before. Like it's crazy.
But I think that's what Kyle likes, right? Because he doesn't necessarily have to change certain personnel. Like, you know what I mean? So like it can still be, it could be 11 personnel with one tight end out there, but the tight end's in the backfield as a running back. So what do you do? Like what do you do? Now you got to put somebody out there on that line, but like there's so many different ways Kyle Shanahan could go about utilizing like the different positions. But we're at 4 with Kittle. So
I'm kind of on the line here with Ronnie Bell or Kyle Juszczyk, because I feel Kyle Juszczyk is kind of a forgotten player because with Jimmy, for some reason, he could never hit him. He could never throw the ball to him.
Freaking love that you said Kyle Juszczyk. Keep going. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
The reason I kind of like in the middle with either him or Bell is because I think Bell, the Niners are a short passing team, right? And like all their receivers are pretty much, they can all do the same thing. And I think Ronnie Bell could really get going against a team like Pittsburgh, especially if they do start blitzing. He's a forgotten guy. You think like, is he going to get any run with the first team literally, or is it going to be mostly Jawan Jennings? So if that's the case, I would say Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk, again, he's another one of those guys. He can run the ball and he can also catch. He's probably the best catching tight end or fullback in the NFL. There's not a lot of fullbacks in the NFL, right? He's multidimensional too. He's another one of those guys that you could literally motion him out in a slot, and you could throw to him like a slot receiver. So, yeah, Kyle Juszczyk would be in my number 5. The Niners have a lot. I can't believe we're talking about a fullback as being one of your top offensive weapons. So, yeah.
No, because he's not just a fullback. I think that's the way you just
he's a Swiss Army knife in a way.
Yeah, the way you just described him, Aaron, was like he's not just a fullback. He's not a fullback. He's a fullback for a position, but he is a utility knife, right? He can definitely do more than just play fullback. And I'm glad you mentioned him. I'm going to throw in one out of the 5 that you gave because nobody's talking about him. And I like it. I like it that nobody's talking about this person because that lets me know when he's out there on that football field, he is going to be highly effective. His name is Elijah Mitchell. He is a running back for the San Francisco 49ers. He used to be the running back, and then the Niners made the acquisition in getting Christian McCaffrey. But listen, if he is healthy, as they say he is, and he's a full go, OM Jesus, it's about to be crazy. It's about to be crazy. The Niners, look, we talked about Pittsburgh. You know what Pittsburgh struggles? In the middle, over the middle, right? They have weak linebackers, which means who do you want to get into that second level? Let them freaking running backs get out here into that second level, get them on the mismatches on their linebackers. Their linebackers can't really cover. When I'm looking at their base defense, it's a 3-4 defense that they give you, they present. All right, you got Larry at the left end. Montravius Adams is the nose tackle on the inside. All right, you got your right defensive end in Cameron Hayward, who's still a problem. All right, veteran, but he's really good. And you got TJ Watt. All right, now as far as backing up, there's a former 49er that does play currently for them. His name is Quan Alexander. I'm sure he's going to go out there and try to bring the energy, but I'm sure the 49ers will find a way to counter that energy if he gets any reps in this particular game. Nick Herbig, their first round pick last year. I think he's going to provide some good depth for them. They got DeMarvin Leal as well. So, look, I'm trying to take advantage of that linebacking core over the middle. I don't think they can cover our running backs. I don't think they can cover our tight ends. I think Kyle Shanahan can find a way to utilize those guys. You talked about George Kittle. If he plays and he's good to go because he's healthy and he's good to go, I'm waiting for that updated injury report if he practices today or not. But if he's good to go, oh, my gosh, sky's the limit, right? Because you said that he's not like your Travis Kelce type of tight end. And I would say, but when he's utilized as a pass catcher, he is right there, in my opinion, neck and neck. Now, he does get utilized more in the run game because the 49ers like to run a lot of outside zone. They like to run stretch plays, toss plays, get the ball to the outside, get those them defensive linemen gassed, right? Moving from outside to inside. So they're going to mix it up a little bit. But if you put Elijah Mitchell in there who can run outside zone as well as inside zone, woo, I think that's going to be a dope addition to keep the running back stable going. And
they live over the middle, though, the Niners. Their offense lives over the middle, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the weakness of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so in a simple, you break it down simply, right? Mm-hmm. The Niners should be successful going against a team who struggles in the middle of the field against an offense that essentially lives in the middle of the field with the way they run their plays, like slants and crossers and all that other stuff the Niners like to do. Kittle, the Niners live within the 10 to 15 yard.
That's their bread and butter.
That's what they do. And then that's why Purdy's the guy, because Purdy, you call him a dink and dunk, whatever, but like, say
that's
what you
offense,
want,
man.
That's what he runs the offense the way Kyle wants it run.
That's the offense.
And if that's the case in a game against Pittsburgh, then I think the advantage is Niners. Listen, this might be a game where the Niners offense needs to help the defense. Maybe the defense is a little overmatched. Because, they have Pickens, he's pretty damn good wide receiver. So, I mean, I was playing him in Madden and he had like 10 catches in the first half. I couldn't stop him. So
it's funny you mentioned Pickens because in my opinion, he's not the concern for me. It would be Deontay Johnson. That's the one you don't want to let loose. Like, you know what I'm saying? He had a down year last year, but the year before he was the man in Pittsburgh. And so just like Deebo Samuel had a down year last year, but the year before he was the man in San Francisco. So they're going to try to figure out a way to get him back involved into the offense. They also picked up free agent wide receiver Allen Robinson. So on Wednesday's show, I'm going to do a little bit of the defensive side and how we can kind of like put a stop to that offense on Wednesday's show. Wednesday's show is going to be crazy. So I hope you guys tune in for Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to do the Kahoot Challenge. It is back, baby. The trivia is back live. You guys will be winning football cards and things like that. I like to give away things. So we're going to be doing that on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Okay.
That's awesome.
All right. And then not only they get a double banger, right? So not only do they get to listen to me for about 20 minutes, they get the Kahoot challenge, and then they get to call in and talk. They talk. So I can't wait to see everybody here on Wednesday as well. Listen, one more thing before we jump off here. What a great show. Aaron, you are an amazing co-host, man. You are on point. Like I love it, man. Round of applause to my man, Aaron. Woo!
Thank you.
Before we jump off out of here, right? We got to do two things. Quick update as far as practice per Nick Wagner. All right, 49ers practice today. They're going to practice today. They're going to be off tomorrow. They'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. And then we'll get the first injury report on Wednesday. So we'll know. All right. They travel to Pittsburgh on Friday. They play on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So that's just a quick update on how this week is going to look for the San Francisco 49ers. Listen, I got to get your score predictions, man. You got to be ready to give them to me every Monday, bro. I know it's early, but it is what it is.
I think this is going to be an offensive shootout. I think the Niners defense struggles a little bit in this game. So I'm going to go 31-23 49ers. I think the Niners pull away in the second half. I feel like when I say pull away, I mean like what they run their offense, which means, getting a lead and then running the ball down Pittsburgh's throat and making them kind of give in to submit. We talk about how their linebackers are not strong. So what's the best way to attack a team whose linebackers aren't strong? Get into that second level with a guy like you said, Elijah Mitchell, who I didn't really think about because he's always hurt. And then, of course, Christian McCaffrey. Maybe Ty Davis-Price gets a little bit of love in this game if the Niners are up. I just think that their defense, I'm a little worried about it because they haven't played with Nick Bosa at all. He hasn't been part of it all training camp and all that other stuff. And I what is him and Hargrave going to look like together? Will they even play a ton of snaps together? So with all that being said, I think the 49ers offense needs to kind of carry the rock literally in this game. So I'll go 31-23. 49ers win and go to 1-0 to start the 2023-24 season. I'm excited. I'm really nervous, actually, to be honest with you. I'm scared.
I mean, I can understand. First game of the season.
Football makes me nervous because it's like there's so many expectations. There's so many expectations on this team this year. And all the people that are mad that Trey ain't here no more, every time the Niners fall on their face, people are going to be out in droves saying that would have happened if Trey was here. Like that, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to deactivate. Or I can't deactivate Twitter because I use it for my channel, but I need to stay off of it for a bit.
Listen. Just don't be on Twitter during the game.
That's a horror show because people react. Yeah, and I do it too. I overreact myself. So
I mean, listen, be ready for the overreactions. But the expectations are high. It's Super Bowl win or not. And so you don't win the Super Bowl in week 1, but you definitely want to make sure you're coming out there guns blazing. And that's kind of like how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? Aaron, I got to get to the poll question real quick, and then I want you to let everybody know when you're going live and where they can find you and all that good stuff. All right, the 49ers are loaded with weapons. On the offensive side, which weapon will dominate the most? All right, dominate the most. Was it Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, or Christian McCaffrey? Who would you have picked?
Christian.
69% agrees with you. 69%. He had over 130 votes, and 69% was like, "Oh, it's CMC. It's CMC." Listen, If Kittle plays, I wouldn't be surprised if Kittle ends up with 3 touchdowns, 119 yards, and gives you a good ass fantasy football week 1 performance. um, I do think that the Steelers are going to do their due diligence and try to take away the run and force Brock Purdy to throw the ball, not the dinky dunk stuff, but literally throw the ball. And so that's kind of like what defenses do once the season starts. People are saying Brock Purdy is a much better Jimmy. Cool. But you saw how they tried to negate Jimmy. He was quick release guy. They was like, nah, we're just gonna put 7, 8 people in the box. You ain't gonna be able to run. Jimmy beat us. So that's what I'm expecting, because that to me is the blueprint on how do you negate that quick passing game. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk about the defense on Wednesday. Listen, Aaron, let everybody know like where they can find you and what time and all that good stuff.
All right. So Mondays we have a show called Niners Coast to Coast. It's myself, Bryant Culp, David McNiner, and Ty Alston, who's part of East Coast Red and Gold podcast.
Shout out to Ty.
We do a 4. Ty, oh yeah, Ty is great, and so are the other guys. So we do a 4. We alternate every week. So this week it will be on Ty Alston's YouTube channel, and then eventually it'll be a mine, and then it just resets every 4 weeks. And then Tuesdays, it's usually 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's me and Raj from RSF 49ers. We have a show. We'll alternate my show on his channel and then his show on my channel. 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Wednesdays, me and Ted from First and Ted. We do or First and Ted is our show. He's from Ted Talks Ball. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then me and Breezie do what is kind of a Saturday show, but it's kind of in limbo just because of our schedule.
No, it's a treat. It's a special treat. So make sure
when you get it, make sure to strap yourself in and go watch it.
And the crazy thing is it's exclusively on your channel. So 49ers First Takes. So if you want to hear my takes on 49ers First Takes, you're going to have to make sure you subscribe to his channel because it's an exclusive show. Now, when you subscribe to his channel, he didn't say this. I'm going to say it for him. Make sure that bell is set to all, right? Make sure it's set to all. That way you don't miss that show whenever it pops up. It's impromptu and you don't want to miss it, but that usually happens on Saturdays.
I also have a TikTok, and I would love if everybody could help me get to 3K followers by week 1. I'm at 2.5 and change.
Woo, you grown, bro. I love it.
I just put my foot down on it. It's everything everybody else does on TikTok. I have my own takes. I have stuff that you see on ESPN or NFL Network and stuff. It's just Niner. I'm a Niner news channel. Listen, there's 8 million of us that have YouTube channels. Some of us are live gods. You have tons of picks and people watching. And then some of us are more of a news channel. And that's kind of what I see myself. Breezy told me to kind of go after the news channel part of it. If I have if I'm struggling, I can't get the views constantly on the YouTube streams, then I go a different way. And that's bringing Niner news usually on shorts or videos. So if you like that kind of stuff and you don't want to spend a whole freaking hour watching a stream, then that's what my channel's for.
That's me. That's me all day. I will watch your shorts all day long. No pause. All right. Thank you, Aaron, for being here, man. Can't wait to see you next Monday when we sit here and kind of.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Mm-hmm. It will be a victory Monday. I'm going to speak it into existence. All right.
Okay.
Far as shows for me, guys, today, I'm going to give you today's shows. Guys, I got 2 more shows today. All right. We got the official release of the No Harm, No Foul show with 49ers Mike, a.k.a. Mike Andrews, a.k.a. Nothing But Niners. That's going to be today, 4 p.m. Now, listen, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a daily show, which means Monday through Friday, we'll be doing that show. All right. Right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. Don't miss it because it's a 30-minute show. You will be mad if you miss it. All right, I'm telling you right now. And then tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I got the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk crew back. It's official. Tonight, we're going to be previewing the game, Pittsburgh versus the 49ers, or 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, however you want to look at it. We're going to go in there, and we're going to show you how we're going to dominate and take over that stadium. Arkashore, no. I was with a diehard Steelers fan yesterday because he goes to my church. He's actually one of the bishops at the church. And he was like, don't ever call it Acrashore stadium. It's Heinz Field. It will always be Heinz Field, and so we will be at the Heinz Field on this Sunday. So I'm excited, man. We got a lot of stuff that's coming out. Madden will be this week for those that are asking. It's going to typically be on Wednesdays. We have the Fantasy Football Show with Peachy and myself on Tuesdays. There's a lot coming out. All right. Okay. So Matt Barrows just reported, and I wanted to make sure I got that. I was waiting for this. No George Kittle at today's bonus 49ers practice. He is, though, however, sprinting on a side field. So he's there, but he's not there. I wish Nick Bosa was there, but not there. Oh, well.
To me, I'm not really like, I don't want to waste him on the practice field anyways, to be honest with you. Like, I really don't.
Good point.
He's a little injury prone, you know, so we got to insulate him. He wants to run sprints all week and then just play the game on Sunday to protect his, you know, aching, aging body. Then do what you got to do.
Oh man, I kind of agree.
He's fragile, man. He's fragile.
Say less. Say less. Guys, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Aaron, you are amazing. Can't wait to do this again next Monday. Y'all stay up, stay strong. Most importantly, keep that junk nitty gritty, baby. We out. Peace.
I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping nonstop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezie, the 4-9 preacher.